Running is a huge part of my life, and you guys are a huge part of my life. And I feel like it's finally time that we address the elephant in the room.
I'm trying really hard to hype myself up to finish.
I told myself I'm not gonna cry. I have makeup on, so oof. Oh my god. Yes, I am filming a video in a car. What has happened to me? I'm not really sure, but it's the only quiet place in my house. This video isn't about tips, it is about the truth. The dark side of running that nobody ever really talks about. The very thing that stops athletes dead in their tracks and makes them question why they put themselves through the things that they put themselves through. Something I'd like to point out is that I'm not here for a pity party. I'm not here for some doom and gloom video that's gonna leave you guys feeling all sad and depressed. That's not what this channel is about. We are about inspiring and motivating and encouraging those of us who want to become our best selves physically and mentally to do just that. To prove to you guys that you can move mountains even when you don't feel like you can. I think I have been reluctant to share this with you guys because I myself refused to believe that I was struggling more than I was letting on. But here I am, without a doubt, probably experiencing the worst mental block I have ever had.
I am 8.5 miles in. I have stopped more times than is necessary. I'm trying really hard to hype myself up to finish, but it's just so hot and my heart rate keeps jumping.
I wish I could tell you I had a solution or I had a way out of it, but I don't. I'm learning, I'm trusting, and I'm pushing through the fog even if I can't see the finish line just yet. When I was finally willing to admit to myself that this was more of an issue than I was allowing myself to believe, that led to a lot of questions as to when did this start, why did it start, how did it start, what was the trigger. After I ran my first marathon, I was so excited and so proud of myself for doing so well that I went back out there in a matter of a few days and started running again, which led to a very serious injury cycle. I went from shin splints to tendonitis to a hip impingement, one after the other. And quite honestly, I have nobody to blame but me, and I take full responsibility for the fact that this was all my doing. I remember when I had my shin splints having to stop quite frequently, but I didn't really see that as problematic at the time. And honestly, I think it was a way for me to control the situation. Like, I knew I was struggling with injuries and stopping was my way of kind of compromising. I still wanted to go out there and run, and it made more sense for me to go out there and run than just stop completely. It didn't really become problematic until my second marathon when I decided to run the entire 26.2 miles on a hip injury. That marathon truly was the marathon from hell, and I don't think I realized just how much it impacted me mentally until recently. It was actually during that marathon I stopped, and I stopped a lot, like every half a mile. I remember when I crossed the finish line, it wasn't a feeling of like excitement or joy that I had did it. It was just more like relief and disappointment in myself. I am promising myself after this marathon that I am taking the rest that my body needs, allowing myself to heal fully so that way I can come back stronger and better. And I did just that. I focused on recovering and healing and strengthening all of my weaknesses, getting rid of all of my imbalances. Despite being the strongest I've probably ever been as a runner, every single run that I have been on has been a battle.
I'm definitely just struggling with some running PTSD.
It was a hot, sunny day in North Carolina, and I set out on my first long run of my new marathon training block. I made it about 3 miles before I couldn't keep my heart rate below 185, and I started to panic. That panic, as a result, made me stop. I finished that long run. It wasn't even that long, guys. I mean, it was only like 9 miles, which for me is not, 9 miles should be nothing. Especially seeing that I've done this multiple times. I was like, what is wrong with me? Why do I have to stop? Like, my body's strong. I feel fine for the most part, other than my heart rate jumping up. But it was like my mind would not let me take another step forward. It got so bad that I started stopping pretty much every quarter mile at this point because the noise in my head was so loud. You're gonna get injured. You should really stop. You cannot trust your body to do what it's made to do. Since that long run, things have really just gotten worse, not better. And it's gotten to the point now where even my easy runs have been tainted with these negative thoughts and impulses. So obviously, I kind of wanted to find the root cause of this. What is causing me to feel like I cannot take another step forward? After reflecting, I truly think it's deeper than me just being lazy or thinking that running is just too hard. And I think my mind and body are just, they're done. They're done experiencing pain. They are done being put through all of the torture that I've put them through. And to be honest with you, I can't really say I blame them. I have put them through hell multiple times. So their new plan of attack is just to make me stop dead in my tracks. They're like, well, we're not even gonna let you get close to getting hurt. Clearly you don't know how to recognize when you're actually experiencing real pain. The problem with these alarms that my mind is sending off is that they're not real. I am strong. I am healed. I am ready to go out there and tackle. And my mind and body just refuse to let me even get close to a point where I might potentially get injured. And that leads me on to the emotional side of this, because it hasn't been a physical pain. It's been all up in my head. And dealing with this day after day has been so disheartening. I was so afraid to even tell the people closest to me, for example, my family, because at least the way I see them or I want them to see me is, a passionate, fearless runner who is unafraid to go out there and run 20 plus miles. And I feel like for a long time I was that, except instead of being fearless, I really actually just think I was clueless. Turns out that there is beauty in not knowing, and I didn't know. I didn't know that there was things that could happen to me that were going to affect my running in some negative way. I felt guilty that something that would be so small and unimportant to somebody else was causing me so much sadness. I felt frustrated that I can't seem to get a grip on myself and push through like I've always done. Now, this leads me on to kind of the next chapter of this whole video, and that is why I've chosen to share this with you guys. Why I'm opening up about this today, right now. I was terrified to tell you guys. Not because I was afraid of judgment or because I was afraid of feeling misunderstood, but simply because I take my job here on YouTube very seriously. And that job, I believe, is to help you guys. I'm supposed to help you guys, not the other way around. I'm supposed to help you discover your inner and outer strength. I'm supposed to help you discover that you are capable of more than you could have ever imagined. I'm supposed to help you see that you're able to achieve big goals and chase after big dreams. And the last thing I want is for you guys to ever feel like you owe me anything. I want this to be a safe space where we can all talk about our wins and our losses and the positives and the negatives as we run towards becoming the best versions of ourselves. But then I thought to myself, is hiding this from you really helping you guys? No. Not at all. I am not a superhero. I'm not an invincible human being. I'm just an average girl who loves to run in the sunshine, help others, and eat good food. At the end of the day, I'm only human. I make mistakes. I experience heartache. I know what pain feels like, and I want you guys to know that. Not because I'm looking for anything in particular, but because I want you guys to know that I'm here for you. I know what it's like to have ups and downs, good and bad times. And for all my spiritual people out there, I truly believe God gives me those downs and those bad times so that way I can help you guys get through yours in the same way that I think he gives me the good times so that way I can be your guys' cheerleaders as you experience a huge win. Now, the big question that you're probably all been waiting for this entire video is, how am I moving forward with this? How am I working towards getting out of this block? And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Although I do not know the exact direction, I know that there's a way out. I know I will eventually see the light at the end of the tunnel. I want you guys to see that it's possible to work past any barrier. Courage and persistence and hope, because at the end of the day, that's all we have. Here are a few things that I do know for a fact that I want to work on the next week, and if you are struggling with any sort of block, or maybe you just want to try these out with me, then be my guest. I think the biggest thing I want to work on the next few weeks is being kinder to myself and treating myself like I treat everybody else. Telling myself that it's okay if I don't want to run 12 miles. It's okay if all I want to do is sit on the couch and watch a show with my siblings. It's okay if I want ice cream. And I hope that with that granted permission, it opens the door to release some of that pressure that I've been feeling, because this basically turns the negatives into positives, and I know that I will be able to apply that same practice to running if I'm doing it in my life as well. The second thing I want to kind of be better about is giving myself permission to stop. Stopping has quite literally been the devil up to this point, so why not flip that and make it okay to stop, make it something that is acceptable, because I feel like by going out there and telling myself that stopping is forbidden, it just brings this massive disappointment anytime I do have to stop and take a walk break. The third thing I want to kind of be better about is celebrating the wins, treating every run like it's a big deal, because it is. Every single mile is a step towards our running goals. Why not celebrate it? Number 4 was actually my mom's idea, so love you, Mom. She has been such a huge support system for me through this, which is kind of crazy that we've gone full circle. I told myself I'm not gonna cry. I have makeup on, so oof. We're not gonna do it. You know, for the longest time, she didn't support my running journey, and it has been, oh my God, such a cool thing to see her just be so supportive and encouraging as I struggle through this. She knows me like the back of her hand, and she's given me a lot of helpful suggestions, and one of her suggestions is that I start practicing more mindfulness and listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, doing the things that inspire me and will kind of help me visualize what it's gonna feel like when I'm out on those tough runs. The goal is to make me feel calm and motivated. I think this will be an excellent way to do that. Oh, that sun is blinding. I don't know if I can... That's a little better. And the last thing I want to do is be better about preparing, because I have failed miserably at this, especially with the long runs. I've just not been preparing like I used to, and I want to treat every single long run like it's a race. I want to have all my things laid out. I want to check the weather. I want to be wearing all the proper gear, have all the right hydration, be properly fueled. That way I'm setting myself up for as minimal a failure as possible. Now that we are towards the end of this video, I kind of wanted to leave you guys with a little note of encouragement to all my friends and my AP family members out there. I hope this video shows you that you're not ever as alone as you think. Chances are there is somebody out there experiencing something similar to what you're going through, and they will be able to relate and understand the struggles that you've been experiencing. I also hope this video shows you that it's okay to not be perfect all the time. It's okay to not always be 100%. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. It is truly through the struggle that we become stronger, more confident, and more brave. I saw this quote in my planner last night as I was planning this YouTube video, and it said, "We all have our own battles, seen and unseen. Be kind to one another and yourself, always." Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Whether you know it or not, you guys are my inspiration, you're my motivation, you're my why. I am so grateful for every single one of you guys. If you've ever experienced a mental block or you found this video helpful, please be sure to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to join the AP family. Boy, am I glad I made it through with only crying once. That is a huge win right there.